So the first exercise that we're going to do is the first kind of anti-movement exercise we're going to look at. So, and this one actually is going to have a real-world application anytime you carry something. So we're going to do what's called a single arm carry hold. So I'm going to put the weight in one hand and I'm literally just going to stand still, which sounds like completely ridiculous. Like, how can that possibly be an exercise? And I'll explain exactly why it is an exercise and how this applies to every time you're schlepping grocery bags or maybe a briefcase or some kind of a bag for work, and how this applies and how it could even be contributing to some of the pain you might be feeling in your body. So anytime you carry something on one side only, the opposite side is being taxed to stabilize the body. So if I pick up this weight, it's in my left hand. So this weight is trying to pull me that way, right? That part I think should make sense. So my obliques here, my hip and glute muscles, they're trying to stabilize to keep me from getting pulled that way. So whenever you do this, we're targeting the opposite side. If you kind of press on and tap your abs, you should feel them tightening up to brace against the weight. So this is how this is actually, surprisingly, a very good ab exercise, especially for the obliques. You're resisting a side bend. So it's not quite rotation, but it's resisting side bending, which is still targeting your obliques. So what you would do is hold something. If you have weights, great. If you have maybe a jug of water or something like that, find anything. Again, take a backpack and just throw a bunch of stuff in it and just grab onto it and hold it, right? So the goal, and I would do this in front of a mirror because you want to have that feedback. Because if you're standing there like this, you're not helping yourself out. So you want to hold this. Now, don't hold the weight away from the body, but don't press it against your body. So it's just away from you a little bit, but you want to stay squared up. Feet can be comfortable. You don't have to. This is harder when you narrow your base. This will be a little bit more challenging, but for the most part, keep them here and then just keep everything tight. So pinch your shoulders a little bit, brace your abs, tighten up your butt, squeeze everything and hold it. And periodically, if you want to tap here, you can feel these muscles working. Okay, so now, anytime you have to lug, and most people are guilty, right? You're gonna load up, 13 grocery bags here, and you're gonna, make it into the house this way. I'm not saying you can't do that, but what I would think about that when you grab them, secure and walk without tipping to the side. We're gonna go over single arm carries next, but make sure that you're squared up. If you always carry a bag to work, a duffel bag, a backpack, a briefcase, or something, a couple things I would mention. One, be aware of your body mechanics, right? Are you tipped all over the place? If so, try to correct it. Two, try to distribute the weight to both hands if you can. If you can't, what I want you to try to think about is carry them into work on one side of your body and out of work on the other side, right? So if you go into work, everything on your right side. When you go home, everything goes on your left side. So that way you're at least distributing that work, that stress every day equally as best you can. But don't just one side, because what happens is you create huge imbalances between the right and left sides through here and through here, because if I'm always carrying stuff on my right side, I'm overloading this side, but my right side never gets any work because I never carry anything in this hand or on this side. So take the time, share the load, but also pay attention to your mechanics. Look at how you're doing it, because I guarantee your body's probably shifting to compensate for what you're doing. So the first step in correcting these things is, one, being aware you're doing it, and now you have a means to start to correct all the body mechanical and the technique things that might be going on.